to A Well-Designed Business. My name is LuAnn Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company Window Works from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. Today, Adam Stevison is joining me in this sponsored show to talk about the Home Depot Design Center. Adam started with the Home Depot in 2001, and since then, he has worked various customer-facing and regional support roles. But his latest position, overseeing the new Home Depot Design Center in Vauxhall, New Jersey, well, that's probably the sweetest by far, at least from where I'm standing, because every day he now gets to work with you and other interior designers on your amazing projects. Home Depot has been around for almost 50 years, but this is a new concept. The Home Depot Design Center is a store within a store. It's an interactive experience combining the name recognition of the Home Depot with kitchen, bath, and laundry appliances from luxury brands like Monogram and Thermador, to name a few. And in the process, it enables them to serve the luxury consumer, delivering high-end quality appliances that they prefer. The Vauxhall store is the third design center that the Home Depot has opened. The other locations are in San Diego, California, and Rockville, Maryland. Consumers and designers benefit from interacting directly with the appliances in working vignettes through an elevated, detail-oriented experience. An end-to-end white glove process handled entirely by the Home Depot Design Center, from the initial interaction and education through delivery and installation. This is such a great opportunity, and the best part is I will be visiting the Vauxhall Design Center next month in September 2023. Hopefully, you can join me. We'll get to hear those details later, so for now, let's listen to hear what Adam has to tell us and teach us about this new and exciting Home Depot Design Center. Hey, Adam, thanks so much for joining me on A Well-Designed Business today.
Good morning, LuAnn. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I am too. I'm excited to learn about this new thing that the Home Depot is doing right in my backyard here in Jersey, the Home Depot Design Center. And so it's funny because we've been talking a little bit, and it is a little different than what you think of with the Home Depot. And so tell me about it. What is this Home Depot Design Center, and why should designers care about it?
Sure. The Home Depot Design Center is a kitchen and bath destination. It's more than just a place to shop. It's a unique kitchen and bath showroom featuring 30 plus full-size kitchen, bath, and laundry rooms and vignettes. Whether you need upgrades for individual appliances or full remodeling jobs, we have a skilled team ready to help you with our clients and create and execute the ideal space for them.
Okay, so there's two things in there that I want to understand. First of all, kitchen, bath, laundry, and you're saying vignette style. So it's designed. I'm not walking into like this section over in the back of the store where there's 16 washers all in a circle and all back to back. So this is vignette style. It's like pretty, it sounds like, right?
Very, very pretty. Yeah. Two of our locations, one in San Diego, California, and in Rockville, Maryland, full walk through. Again, both vignettes and then there's also sections for, an assortment conversation, right? So you can experience in a vignette, but there is some of that lay down on road appliances, feel for those that want to see 6 different styles of the same kind of built-in refrigerator. But yeah, with San Diego and Rockville, it really is a true experience center. What is new for us and exciting for us is the company's first store within a store format. You think of a Sephora inside of a Macy's. You walk into the Home Depot in Union, New Jersey, and then you see a whole nother 4 walled off section of an appliance experience. Built into vignettes, all in demo mode. You can see how bright the lights are for the range hoods and in the ovens, to hear and feel the downdraft, ventilation that we offer. So 2 different formats between the 2 locations. San Diego was first. We opened in 2018. 2020 came along Maryland, and now in 22 we have Union, New Jersey.
So what I love about it is, it's one thing to be first, like Jersey to be first, but I also kind of love that San Diego opened in 2018, because it's working, and that means that it will probably stay, because you've been testing out and making sure that it's needed and wanted in the space, in the interior design space. So again, further breaking it down, I love what you said, an experience center. Okay. That's pretty cool, right? And you also said demo mode. So we actually can go so far as to turn things on, and, talk to me about demo mode. Are you actually doing it's funny. Monogram is one of the products that you feature in your space here, right? And of course, I have been, lucky enough to have been invited to Chicago, to the Monogram flagship location, and have been there while Chef John has done demos and talks about how this oven is working and how that convector is doing this and this sous vide is doing that. Yeah. And so are we talking to that level of demo over there, Adam?
Both. So Maryland and California full experience centers, executive chefs on staff can cook and do the same experience that you described in your previous and other visits. Very, very identical. Wow. A customer closes on a big project, and they come in, for an invite from the executive chef, and we have a meal prepared. It tends to be a great experience because, rather, you just close a big job. You just close the deal. You're getting ready to start an adventure of one massive remodel potentially. You come in and you have an executive chef in front of you cooking and demonstrating on the appliances, or showing the cabinets how it would be incorporated into the space. Demo mode in New Jersey is, Thermador, one of our brands that we carry, have push to open doors, right? So, you can bump it with your elbow and the door opens for you. Signature Kitchen Suites has a wine column that if you tap on the glass, it lights up. So it's not a cooking experience in the store within a store concept, but they're all on powered so that you can see, feel, and touch. You can see a downdraft raise 15 inches up out of the island and then disappear again until it's seamless. So 2 different experiences, but set up in a way that you can stand in front and feel like you're in your own space. Like you mentioned earlier, it's not the lineup of appliances that could come across cold potentially. This puts you surrounded by gorgeous quartz, granite countertops. The backsplash is present. It is set up as a real kitchen vignette.
I love it. I love it because so what I have learned is just in all those fun times that I've been part of those experiences. Also, I remember Veronica Miller from the Design Hounds invited me out to her experience with Signature Kitchen Suites in Napa. And the same thing, all of it there set up, the chef cooking for us. And the experience part is so clever to me and important because even myself, not an interior designer, and as I have been part of those experiences, what happens is as you are there as a designer, enjoying the luxury of having an executive chef create something for you, the education that chef is imparting is exactly the things that I need to know when I want to go and say to my consumer, this is why you need a $20,000 refrigerator. It's not just, you can get one over in the other aisle for $700, or why don't we spend $20,000 for no good darn reason, right? You get the education behind it, and that's the key, right, Adam?
Absolutely. The experience goes a long way. Take it one step further, and what our teams do is, if the customer has landed on a specific brand, feature, gas, induction, we will make our test kitchens incorporate some of those units. So you're not just demonstrating and cooking a great meal on an appliance that is irrelevant to me, but if I just purchased a 48 inch, if I just did a massive 60 inch, or if I'm cooking with new technology, induction, we will change the appliances out in those test kitchens and actually truly demonstrate and give you an experience with your items, with your choices.
Wow.
So it really kind of does bring it home, because to your point, yes, you get that instant education and product knowledge. Just the tactical of how am I going
Right.
to use this brand new? What does induction mean? Let me show
Right.
you. Let me cook on it for you.
Well, and it's funny because, like, on the show, we talk often with interior designers that until they make the connection and own how much goes into their process. So, what I've learned in talking with interior designers at all different levels of business expertise is when you just do what you do as a designer and you don't cognitively collate for yourself and annotate for yourself all the steps that you do, you are way more likely to undercharge for your services. It's like, well, I'm just going to design this room. I guess I'll say it's $2,000. But when you cross that bridge and you start to quantify for yourself and you start to document everything that you actually do, all of a sudden you're saying, huh, how could I not charge 40 grand for this design fee? And I have learned that's the same with this luxury appliance level. If in my own home, I have a really wonderful stove or oven or refrigerator, but I don't have, a $40,000 monogram or whatever, then do I really know the value of it? And how am I actively coming to that as the leader in the conversation? Because otherwise, I'm just selling an arm candy, a status piece. But understanding what those appliances really do different than a regular appliance, that's all the difference between just standing there and saying, you said to me that cooking was a really critical part of your happiness. Why are we not using this kind of oven, right?
100%. And that's really what the experience allows for, no matter what the audience is, right? We can teach a designer that's designing as much as the consumer and the end user, right? So you think about giving the education to the designer that's going to be able to then speak and really understand why we're talking about a 15, 18, $20,000 range. Our centers give you an experience from both. It's more than just the pretty come in and touch and see, but our sales team will go through and tell you these are the features and benefits. This is what makes this unit worth it. This is more than just a brand on the front. This
Right.
is the reason why there's value. This is an investment in a bigger picture. This isn't just you're buying an $18,000 stove. You're getting ready to make one of the most important rooms in the house, arguably the kitchen,
Right.
beautiful and functional. So our showrooms are experience for both. We have space designated to be used for anyone in the trade. So if someone just wants to bring in their client, and sometimes it's helpful. You're there with designer, shoulder to shoulder with salesperson, with end user client. You can walk through and discuss and talk and confirm, land on the right choice of the designer and the vision that they have. So it's between the space allocated to say, come in, use our showroom as yours, the added benefit of the experience, and then couple on the trained and experience that the sales team offers to kind of bring it all home. It's just a center that you can come enjoy, certainly, and also really feel like you are present in the design.
I love it. I love it because I know I can't sell what I don't know and I don't understand. Otherwise, you just start to gloss over the details and it falls short. So I love that we have this ability to come and really absorb it and grasp it and get the reason for the price tag. What is the value that goes in? And you mentioned the end user, the consumer client of the designer. So I, as a designer, can come in and maybe get a little brush up on all the things and understand what the value is. But then I can also return back with my client and have my client walk through the same sorts of presentations and the same benefits of hearing it from the sales rep. And then together we're all collaborating and expressing and teaching about these products to my consumer, right?
100%. It certainly helps the designer to be able to speak about the features, but under no expectation would you know several different brands and all the features with it. So some combination of both is really helpful. Having the designer hit some key bullet points of why am I even pitching and incorporating this into my design, but then you've also got a backup. You've got a trained sales associate that can actually come in and confirm or have to pivot, and we can
Yes.
do it together.
Right, right. Well, and it's important, like, and I put myself in the place of all the years of doing window works. It's, there's probably 70% of the time, an interior designer knows exactly what type of window treatment they want. But there's 30% of the time where they're like, I don't know what to do with this window. Can I have a little help, please? Right. And then as a window treatment professional, I'm there to support the designer, educate the designer and his or her client, but to not take over the environment, right? And so you're offering that same thing. Your salespeople, boots on the ground, are there to support that. And, I'm sure they've got training and they've got know-how that their second seat, right? Designer is first seat. That's always what we have to do as a vendor in a trade, is designer is first seat. But I love that you said that the backup, the actual heavy lifting of the technical knowledge, we can leave that to you.
Technical knowledge, absolutely, and it also things pivot on a moment, right? So when you're there and you're present and you have the partner, the designer and specialist, last minute changes and saying I want to go a completely different direction, we can be nimble with it, right? Because you have that support, you have that team member in your court that can say, you know what, we're at this moment notice, we're not going to do a built-in, we're going to do two different columns on opposite ends. There's no lag time and no delay. And, it doesn't put all the pressure on the designer to be able to say, I need an answer for you right now.
Right.
Designer makes a call to you, said they're in the lead, but we're going to respond immediately. We're there and we can support.
Right. Now, what are the actual brands that are represented in the design center, the Home Depot Design Center?
The location in New Jersey has 4 luxury brands: Thermador, Monogram, Signature Kitchen Suite, and Decor.
Okay.
We have all 4 of those built into vignettes, and then an accompaniment of other assortment of those same items. Like I described, the showrooms have both. We want you to be in a vignette so you can feel and touch, but you want to see 3 different versions of what Decor's built-in looks like. Well, we have a 42 and a 36. We have an assortment play as well as a vignette for those 4 brands.
Okay. So, and it's interesting because I just caught myself. I'm also having a very New Jersey centric point of view on this, but like there are people in California and Maryland listening to this, Adam. So in those other locations, is it the same 4 major brands or are there others?
There are others. The other locations carry Fisher Paykel, Mila, Bertazzoni. So because of the size difference and the format difference, right?
Sure.
Those 2 other centers do have a larger presence or assortment of brands. We
Okay.
have just the 4 in Jersey.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and we're kind of are focusing on Jersey right now only because I'm going to be in your Home Depot Design Center with you, right, on September 14th, 2023 from 12 to 2 p.m. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to have a little business conversation and we're going to, have an experience in the Home Depot Design Center right in Union, New Jersey. Right, Adam?
Absolutely. Look, we're looking forward to the event, and it's just super exciting. Home Depot parent company is 44 plus years old, right? And so it's really tough to be new at something and be the first at that point. When we open a new Home Depot in a different town, it's more of the same that you'll experience anywhere else. This store within a store concept, coming up amazingly on its first year anniversary, is awesome because it's the first, it's the one, it's the only, it's the first time in an established company that we have this format, 3,000 square feet showroom. So it's super exciting because we get to show the world that we exist, but also that something as established as a 44-year-old home improvement company has some tricks up its sleeves, has something new to show, something new to demo.
That's pretty cool. I love it. So let's talk a tiny bit about the process of the experience from the designer standpoint. So we have this initial opportunity where a designer can come and they can be part of like the event that we're going to have together. They can, I'm sure there's other things that you do where you are demoing the product, and like we talked about with your executive chefs and different things. So that's all like first steps. We have to understand the luxury brands that you are representing, what makes them different, how to talk about them and introduce them into our conversation with our clients if it's new for us to do this, right? But then get me to the second step. So I've learned a little bit myself. I've managed to pitch it to my client. My client has come in possibly with me and have seen it and tasted it, touched it and all the things. And now we place the order. And so from a technical standpoint, I, the designer, am placing the order with the Home Depot Design Center, or is my consumer placing the order? So how is this? Is this trade only? Is this either or? Is it up to the designer? How does that work, Adam?
So the store within a store is completely open to the public, right? So I want to start and kind of think about just the format of the facility of the showroom itself. It has its own separate entrance and exit within the massive beast that Home Depot warehouse, that you'd imagine is. You walk into that superstore in Union, you hang a left at the front door, and you will instantly see that second presence. So it's open to the public. So that means a couple things. The designer can come in by themselves or with client. Two different formats. Walk in, help yourself. There's wide open doors, no appointment required, or we can also set up an appointment for you. There's a lounge space that gives you coffee, tea, hot beverage if you want to. You can actually sit and enjoy and go through magazines, get your ideas and inspiration with or without designer, of course, but there's a space for you for those that want to make an appointment. And I say there's two different ways. Walk-in traffic, certainly welcome. Come on in anytime you want to, or let's make an appointment for you. And then that one is a little bit of a different experience, right? Then that's a version of I'm going to schedule because now I have a relationship with one of my specialists on my team. I'm coming to meet him or her. I have a time for him or her. It instantly feels different. We're never going to show away walk-in. Stop by anytime we're open, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Or the alternative, come in and you want to be there at 1 o'clock and you're going to meet with your specific sales specialist. There's no distraction. I'm just talking with that. It is just more intimate. I can walk through more privately. So that's how it kind of starts off. Walk in by any means. Don't even let us know, or make an appointment. And there's a variety of ways that we can do that. Call us, email us, etc. But make an appointment. Come in, have a drink, relax, get into the mindset of what we're getting ready to walk through, because you can get very technical in the appliance space, right? So, so that's how I want to start it off, right? Is it does feel different than that vision that you probably have walking into a Home Depot with massive rows of appliances. You'll notice the difference as soon as you walk in. And then to get to your question, it happens both ways. The designer can make the purchase. There's certainly incentives and trade programs that is relevant to. Consumers can, contractors can, the builder can, the architect can. So we're less specific on who actually makes the purchase. It comes into play if there's a trade program, if there's a builder discount in the conversation. Then that might dictate who needs to purchase. But anyone can, depending on the path they want to take.
Okay. So if I am imagining a typical trade program, let's say, it's a 10% or a 15% for the designer, the builder, the architect. So the consumer price is $20,000. The designer trade price is the percentage off. So the consumer is not paying more money. The designer and the architect, the builder, are getting their incentive commission for bringing them to your location. Am I correct?
In some shape or form, right? So whether it's a difference in price or it's a rebate, there's some programs that are, if you refer to this range, we're going to give you $400 for as a cash spiff. So there is a variety of it, typically with discount up front. That is the builder programs, right? That is, I'm committing to purchasing 20 units from you. I can save 15% off. What's unique in this space is these appliances are all universal retail, meaning Design Center doesn't have it any more or less than what it would be sold for at AJ Madison, PC Richards. So what the consumer and user sees is retail. What the designer, what the architect, builder, trade program person actually pays for it depends on the program that we selected, right?
I
But
got it.
our labels, our pricing model at the design center shows the UMRP, the universal retail pricing for it. So as you're walking through, the designer might have a vision of how much they're either going to get back or how much they're going to save, depending on the
Hmm.
program. But that is for the designer and the trade person.
Well, and I understand that. It's, like window treatments. If you're a window treatment retailer that buys, $400,000 worth of Hunter Douglas product over a course of a year, and you buy 4,000 over, you're getting different pricing. It's, like, let's be serious, right? You're getting different programs, and like you said, sometimes it's an add-on. So if you buy 400,000, maybe you're going to go to Costa Rica with Hunter Douglas. If you buy 4,000, you're probably not. So, it's business, right? It's
Correct.
like, and so what I'm hearing is, you should go and make an appointment with the Home Depot Design Center by yourself first, and go learn what are the different ways to purchase, and what are the programs, and what are the different opportunities open to you based on what you feel like your future with that relationship could be, right?
Spot on, spot on. Designer comes solo. We'll get you registered, get all that kind of paperwork stuff taken care of, and then everything else is going to feel just a little bit easier and more natural, right? More organic. Then all of that is out of the way. We don't want to
Right. You're
have that
not trying to have that
conversation.
conversation with your client sitting there.
That would be a little awkward, right? So
Like, ixnay on the discount day. Ixnay.
100%. So come in, get registered, and then you get that all out of the way. Now designer and an end user client can just have fun in the showroom, right? But
Exactly.
definitely worth. And unfortunately, each one of the four brands we represent in Jersey have some kind of different process, right? So
Oh, see, that's interesting too, right?
not one button click or one email or form to submit. So let's get that out of the way, get everyone registered, and then it's super clean going forward.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So so now we've got, step one, educate, understand. Step two, make an appointment, get our business end set up and our agreements with you set up. Step three is we're placing an order, regardless of how we do it. Customer has written the check or we've written the check, not relevant to me at this point. Placing the order.
Yeah.
So how is it tracked and managed? Do I have to call you for statuses? Do you have a built-in process where you're like, we've got it, this is a white glove thing, or this is a no, chase me down and make sure we've done everything thing?
Completely, and I love the term white glove because that's exactly what it is. We do something different than what we'd call it the core side of our business, right? Is nothing gets handed over at Home Depot Design Center to anything third party at any stage of the game. So clearly at the front of the house, the sales team is ours, right? We don't wear the Home Depot orange aprons. We have the badges to distinguish the difference between the two. But you have an HDDC salesperson, and then every other step of the way, we have our own warehouse space. Right. So it's not going to be just one of, a number in a lineup of a massive warehouse, right? Things are moving, things get bumped or damaged or dusted, hopefully never in anyone's experience. But it's a different experience even in the post sale in our warehouse space. Those are Home Depot Design Center associates. So we have your product in our own space. Come time for if we need to go to the home for a site verification, commonly known as a measure, right? Want to verify these things are going to fit. It's a Home Depot Design Center associate. All the order follow-up isn't being routed to a third-party call center or anything automated. You'll hear from one of my associates saying, we have it. Let us know when you're ready or tell us a date. These projects could be months in the making, right? So the beauty of it is we have the storage space to be able to say, let us know when your project is ready. And again, this could be a conversation with designer, architect, builder, or end user. Tell us when on your schedule. We'll confirm and get it out there and get it delivered to you in a Home Depot Design Center truck. And I say, as simple as that vision in your head might be, is it's not a rental truck. It's not a U-Haul or a Ryder truck showing up. You just made one heck of an investment, and again, arguably the most important room in a house. It's going to be a Home Depot Design Center truck that shows up and gets installed if you need to. It isn't relevant, depending if the builder chooses to take that on or not. But we can install it. We can take care of all of that for you in a white glove experience. We've got booties on our shoes, and we'll clean up the space before we leave. It should and does feel different from the front of the house to the end. And I gotta then say just how fantastic our install and delivery team is doing. And some models deliveries are all about quantity. How many can I get done and how fast, right? That's just how that business works in logistics.
Right.
I gotta squeeze all these appliances into one truck and knock it all out. Our team can spend 2 or 3 hours in the home with you because, I mean, let's face it, again, yes, for the investment, these are one heck of some units. But the features, what's induction? How am I supposed to take care of this plumbed hot beverage dispenser that's now built into my cabinets? So a delivery can be much longer, as appropriate as you'd expect, because our team is going to sit there and talk through some of these features and benefits. So you really do feel, the difference in experience.
So you're saying to me as part of your delivery process, when they're done installing it, now they're going to run through how to operate it and how to work it?
Yeah, look, you'd think at this point they've probably already gotten that, right? So they would have had a little bit at the front of the house and the sales experience in choosing the models. But sometimes, and time passes,
Oh, no, I can see needing it, but I'm just shocked that you do it.
Yeah, yeah. Time does pass in these projects, so I might forget of what the salesperson said. It's just
Sure.
now it's in my home, and it just feels different. And what did that feature do? I remember 2 months ago, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, what someone in the showroom said. But show me, and then that's awesome, right? So my team will go through and give you a refresher, if nothing else, of what the sales team offered.
So my brain, from a business standpoint, just goes down a tiny little rabbit hole here. So the crew that is qualified to logistically move these items, because my brother has been a mover for 35 years. You can, any strong guy can pick something up and deliver it, but a mover has a different process. The brain thinks differently, the levers and the leverage that you use to lift the things that are 4 times your weight. So the skill set to be a mover, is there an additional crew member that's an expert on the appliances? It can't be the mover guy that's teaching you how to use it, right?
We send a team, right? So everyone has their part in it, right? So we have drivers, we have installers, we have folks that'll come out and do measures or site verifications. I have a master plumber on staff, so if we have to go down the plumbing conversation, so there's going to be a team, or there's going to be more than just one person showing up to take cardboard off, right?
Wow.
If nothing else, at minimum, a driver and an installer, right, on every delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be the difference. I should distinguish the difference. There's deliveries, right, because I can just drop it off and it does stay in its box, or I'm giving you that experience. So I don't want to make it exclusively that everything has to be unpackaged. It all depends on the project, right? But
right.
Regardless, you have a driver, you have an installer. I can throw in a master plumber to come out if you have those questions, and really give you the answers to your questions.
So, and you're right. I can understand that in certain projects. So if I'm doing, a $3 million home and it's a $400,000 kitchen, and the contractor, the builder, is the lead as far as quote unquote these things in the house, right? So maybe the builder does want his team to install it. So maybe your team delivers it to the garage and he uncrates and brings it in. If that's the case, can I then, after the fact, the clients move in, 2 weeks later, can I then, after the fact, schedule that other part of your team to do the demo and remind us how to turn this, massive, complicated computer and refrigerator and all these things on? Can that happen in separate stages?
Often does, right? Because, these projects tend to be massive with multiple phases, right? So there can be a massive amount of time in between when they're purchasing to when it gets delivered to when it gets installed.
Right.
So, yeah, whether they come back to the showroom, and then we've often had either vendors come in or our own sales team kind of go through and give specific product knowledge sessions, or, of course, in-home always feels the best. There's a variety of options. If a customer has any questions, we're going to be at their disposal and say, how can we help you, right? But any of those options are available.
I love it. See, that's icing on the cake, right? That's icing on the cake. If I've got a consumer that is accustomed to these luxury appliances, no big deal. But if I'm the first one introducing this aspirational idea of, you've waited your entire life, you're now 50 years old, and you are a chef and you love this and you want to cook and you're going to treat yourself to this stuff, that doesn't mean you know how to use it. And for me to be able to say, as a designer, because it's so funny, because I everybody knows Vinny and I bought a beach house at the shore, our third one or whatever, but finally our last beach house, right? Like you finally get up the food chain, you're like, this is the one, we've made it, right? And we bought it, and it was about a 4-year-old home. It was completely designed and decorated by a designer. It was designed for spec and for rental and all of that stuff. And it's got this big, I don't know what kind of stove it is, honestly, Adam. I'll have to go look at it, but it's not your garden variety stove. And the thing is, it's got convection. And I'm just like, look, just how do I cook French fries in here? That's all I want to know. Like my grandchildren live on French fries. And I'm like, okay, chicken fingers and French fries. And it's so funny because if I ever really wanted to explore what this, it's like I say all the time for this analogy. I have a Maserati that I'm driving at 30 miles an hour, no question. But the ability, if I actually made that significant investment into that piece, and I actually had an interest in cooking, which I do not, I promise you, to be able to say to my client, and we can have this service. And I love the idea too, because it's nice to come in the house, but maybe it is easier for me to just come to the showroom again another time or two and witness a demo or something. So it really is rounding out that white glove service is the point, and I love it.
Look, and there's such a variety of clients and projects, right? So not everyone is going to be a technicurian and the professional executive chef, right? So, right. To be able to teach someone in simple terms how to use what for their purposes and what they're going to use it for, all the way up to someone that needs the newest technology and they're discovering or have already discovered induction, right? Because that's right. New or foreign to a lot of folks. There's such a wide range of two things. The experience is going to be very specific to the end user, but we'll train one way or the other. Not everyone needs to know the camera features and the Wi-Fi and the smart technology, and there's others that do. And with that, I have to throw in that there's a difference in variety of the product. You mentioned some of those gold standards, the $18,000 stoves, right? Or the huge, massive refrigerators. But each of my 4 brands have the full gambit. If Thermador has a program, Leap into Luxury. You can get a 4-piece suite, slide-in range, standard refrigerator for under $10,000. That's for all 4 pieces. Wow. Signature offers another one. So I just wanted to. It's not always or shouldn't be thought of as just the top. The $3 million house that you gave the example for. It really can be for the variety of budgets, and then again to the technical skills of how much of a chef they are.
I love that because leap into luxury, right? It's like maybe you are somebody who really enjoys cooking and so forth, but you're not at the stage of life where you can afford, a $70,000, $80,000 appliance package. But you also know that you want more features than what comes with a standard, right? And so that's good. And it's funny because I have a question written here that leads into. And my question was, knowing that the rest of the Home Depot store has everything from total entry level up. Designers have what they call this high-low, right? So maybe the chandelier is $15,000, but the sofa is $3,000, or maybe the sofa is $10,000, but the rug is $1,000. And so if I'm a designer and I've got my trade account and I've had my education and I've got my sales rep and we've got a relationship going and I have my way around the Home Depot Design Center is what I'm saying. I've got that locked down. When I have any individual prospective consumer that I'm working with, can that person that I've developed a relationship in the design center, can I say to them, and by the way, for our laundry room, we're good with the entry level that GE has, or we want really a great stove, but we don't need that on the refrigerator. Can we shop from both places with the help of this expert so that it does integrate and end up looking well in the space?
It does often happen that you're going to need to cross both sides of the aisle, as we see it. It really is a physical 4-walled, experience center for the New Jersey location. So it does often happen that you're going to need to buy from both sides. Our team is specifically trained and developed and has the time with our 4 brands and those vendors. So I would say if they're going to be a subject matter expert, certainly in what we sell on our side. So I would say it can work both ways. If the customer and consumer designer needs to shop on both, we can join, but they're going to be the subject matter expert in our space, right? We find that really you try to be the expert in too many things, and something has to fall, right? So
Right.
typically, so our team is going to be the most versed for the branded appliances that we have, and can certainly join in. Typically, what happens is we're going to partner, right? What often
Right.
happens is there's going to be that subject matter expert in that department, in that section, in that aisle, that is needed. So at minimum, a partnership, but we can join, if there's any questions that we can possibly help with.
Okay. So, and all I'm looking for is some synergy there, right? If I ultimately have to place an order in one part of the store for those appliances and items, and then other, but you know me, I like if I'm a designer, I don't. Here's what I don't want to hear. That the stove doesn't fit next to the other thing that I bought in the other part of the store, and the guy who measured for the luxury part, and they're like, oh, I didn't know you were doing that. Like, don't tell me that. Don't have me write you a check for thousands of dollars and you're going to tell me you didn't know, because we're going to have a problem.
So we get around a lot of that, right? So depending on the project, right? Sometimes we're only going to fulfill the appliances because the designer has already gotten in the works with another firm, a competitor or otherwise, doing maybe the cabinets and countertops. There's always going to be that synergy of realize that you're making an investment. You'd argue, even with a leap into luxury, that's still $10,000 worth of appliances.
Right.
And then the sky's the limit, right? You said $40, $50, $60,000 suites. There has to be some kind of synergy there, right? So oftentimes what happens is whether Home Depot core business is doing the cabinet selection or a third-party company is, we will share and provide specs, measurements, and details. Because even if we're not involved with the cabinets, that could reflect poorly, right? So whose fault is it for something not fitting? So we get around it. We get around it one of two different ways. We love to site, verify, and measure before we sell the appliances, right? It's a nominal fee just to get someone out to your home, and then we just say, depending on the status of the project, this will certainly fit. That eliminates all of the now you wait 2 weeks, it shows up, it doesn't. All of that is avoided because we really got out there before to make sure specifically it was going to fit. Now, fitting only applies if we're doing a swap. If you're doing a full gut reno, there is nothing to verify. We're out there measuring studs. And so in that case, and in those projects, we provide the measurements and say, whether it's Home Depot or otherwise, these are the specs that you need in order to make this work. And then you have to make sure, right, that whoever is going to be doing those cabinet designs takes that into consideration. But we'll provide all that information if they don't go with Home Depot to purchase the cabinets.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, this is actually the role and the value of the designer, to be the person that's doing the coordinating among everybody. But they need the backup and the support of everybody else, not saying, not me. Like, that's my thing. Yep. Not me, not my job. Like, everybody at Window Works knows, do not ever say those words to me. Do not say it's not my job. It's like putting like gas on a flame. I literally, you watch me levitate. I'm just like, oh, it's not your job. That's so sweet.
Yeah, look, it's often a partnership, right? So we have so many folks that come in that have three or four folks on their team worth of design, an architect, a designer, right? You have a decorator, and the collaboration there is really what the design center is special. What makes it special is from what we can control and help and influence. We're there and we'll stand behind it. And so oftentimes someone on an end client designer's team has some questions that we need to collaborate with. So often and does happen.
Love it. And then I noticed it's not unusual to see this, but there is like a financing arm to all of this that you offer. And does that financing part apply if it's just consumer buying it, or if the designer's business is buying it? Is there a distinction there? Or is that, like, LuAnn, you just went into details that are so not necessary. We'll talk about that individually when you come to the showroom.
Look, no, financing is important because you're making an investment, $10,000 or otherwise, right? So the financing is, simple terms, it's on the Home Depot card, right? So it's for anyone. It doesn't matter who swipes the card. You just have to have one approved, right? So as long as you have an open Home Depot charge card, we take advantage of the facility of our parent, of Home Depot, itself. They use Citibank as who manages and leads their credit facility. So we use the same as the stores. The difference is our longer terms in financing. We offer 24 months. And typically what you'd see at the store might be a 6-month, 12, 18-month promotional time frame. We're 24 months day in, day out. So for I say the qualified customer, it's whoever has a Home Depot card, pending credit limits, et cetera, right? That's
Right.
the fun technical part. But all it is a Home Depot card, and we
Okay.
give the 24 months day in, day out.
Well, and you know what? That's something that even if a person isn't necessarily a consumer that typically buys on credit, if I've got to buy my appliances now and my house is just, breaking ground now, but I need to get things ordered so it's all available, maybe that makes sense to me not to pay up front for a big package that is not going to be installed for 10 or 12 or 13 or 14 months too. So
100%. To
yeah.
your point, if you pay, if you're not the credit user, you've doled out that dollar amount in full out of $20,000-$30,000 is gone, and then you're going to wait 8 months and not see your product,
Right.
or not be able to use it, or the house isn't even available to walk into. Right? It depends. So to your point, at least with 2 years, right, you have a little bit of that benefit. You make a minimum
I could
payment
see.
on it, and then you defer the interest until the end.
Yeah, I could see, like, as a consumer, if I were working with a designer and I were that luxury consumer that was going to make this significant investment in appliances, and we're saying, well, we don't really expect to get to installing appliances for 10 or 12 months because we're just breaking ground. Yeah, I could see the VIN man looking at me going, what am I going to give them my money for 8 months for? You know what I mean? Like, let's do it this way. So it's a great feature, to think about, right?
Any smart investor would say, leave the money in your account, right? So
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
dole it out if you're not going to be able to use it. So absolutely.
Exactly. I love it. So is there anything that I left out? I feel like, if I were a designer, I covered all the things that I would want to know before, choosing to come into the Home Depot Design Center. Like, I kind of want to have my legs underneath me and my curiosity still with other things I don't know yet. But I feel like I have a good vision of what to expect as far as the products, the services, the addendum services, the delivery, the ordering, the education. Is there anything that I left out, Adam, that you're thinking of?
I'd say our space is their space, is the designer's space, right? So, sometimes depending on location, does it make sense for a client to come and meet at someone else's office or location? You can really use these centers as your own. There's more private, sit down space that you can have with televisions mounted in case something has to be displayed or projected. But if you need to find somewhere in the middle between client and designer, and it happens to work for you for Union, New Jersey, or the other 2 locations, use our space. So keep
Cool.
that in the
Almost
back
like
of
a
the
little
mind of.
workspace, a shared workspace. You're saying you
Absolutely.
might be having a meeting about your appliances, but you can stay and then it's, for another hour or whatever and continue and meet about other parts of the project is what you're inviting them to do.
Projects involve multiple different retailers, multiple different sources, right? So if it makes sense for you and, hey, we happen to be somewhere near you, let's meet there, and then you can use our space. You might be down the street picking out a different product that Home Depot doesn't have available. Who knows where the projects can go, fabrics or otherwise. You're in the neighborhood, stop by, our space is yours.
Love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. All right, Adam. So I'm excited. I'm excited about your new Home Depot Design Center. I think it's an incredibly valuable resource for interior designers. I love every aspect of it, from the education to the delivery and the service and all of that. And I'm looking forward to seeing it in person in September, on September 14th. And we will put the link in the show notes, in my link tree, if you're on my email list, all the things on how to join us there. But we're thinking that link is going to be CVent, that's the letter C, VENT.me/LuAnn. Okay. So that's how you RSVP. It's a free event, but Adam needs to know how much food and drink to have available, and how many chairs to set up, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I can't wait to see you in the showroom, and I think it's going to be a great time and really something new that we can really show your audience. I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too. All right, I will see you on the 14th. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much. See you soon.
All right. right. I hope that you will consider joining us on September 14th, 2023 at 12 o'clock Eastern. It's at the Home Depot Design Center, 2445 Springfield Ave in Vauxhall, New Jersey. We will put the link to the RSVP in the show notes so you don't have to worry about writing it down. Adam will be there. You'll get to preview the Design Center and the 4 luxury brands that they carry: Monogram, Thermador, Signature Kitchen Suite, and Decor. It's going to be a great afternoon. And beyond this one afternoon, I hope if you are local to the New Jersey area that you will take advantage of this resource and take advantage of being able to offer this experience to your clients. Because that's really what it comes down to, right? The experience. It's not just about specifying a Monogram range or Thermador refrigerator to your kitchen design. It's about understanding and knowing the actual value of these investments and being able to explain and educate your clients on that value. And then being able to have them use it and experience it for themselves. And not only experience it, but have the subject matter experts at the Home Depot Design Center there on hand to answer all the questions. And that is really the beginning of it, right? Because if you thought being offered a beverage or a place to meet clients at the Home Depot Design Center was a nice perk, you're going to love that they have set up the entire process as a true white glove experience. Adam explained to us that nothing is handed over to a third party. It all happens directly through the team inside those Home Depot Design Center walls. Site verification, measuring, scheduling, follow-up phone calls, delivery, you name it, they're handling it personally. And this is something to emphasize here. Luxury isn't simply the brand that you choose. It's as much the experience you deliver. And when your clients are investing in brands like Monogram and SKS, Thermador, and Decor, they are also investing and expecting a luxury experience. And the Home Depot Design Center delivers on this idea with end-to-end service. I love the education, the vignettes, the ability to touch and use the appliances on the front end, but I also love that they keep it going with professional delivery, service, and installation. I mean, we know that this is what white glove means. You show up with a team, the drivers, the installers, a master plumber if necessary, and even they offer someone to walk your client back through how to use their products once they're installed in their kitchen. I mean, come on, that's pretty outstanding, right? This concierge level service will add so much to your client experience and make you, the designer, the hero in your client's eyes. Now, we've done several episodes that center on this idea of the client experience. The client experience is so important. It can make or break you. If you are stuck or need help understanding more ways to establish the client experience, just like the Home Depot Design Center does, I encourage you to go to the website and look under collections, okay? Now, Adam and the Home Depot Design Center are ready to educate you on these things and then some. It's amazing. Remember, if you're not in the New Jersey area, that the Home Depot Design Centers are also in San Diego, California, as well as Rockville, Maryland. And as Adam mentioned, their services and offerings may be a little different. But if you are designing near one of these stores, you are going to want to avail yourself of this experience for yourself and your clients. Now, if you are already including luxury appliances in your kitchen, bath, and laundry designs, you're probably not walking your clients through an endless maze of appliances at a local improvement store. So just keep in mind that the Home Depot Design Center is not that. Adam emphasized it is a store within a store, a completely different experience, okay? And just something to think about. This might be comforting to some of your clients who are just now at the point where they are considering luxury brands, because the Home Depot is a brand that they are familiar with and they know and they trust. But then to have it combined with this elevated experience and the education on what makes these brands worth more, Well, that is a very important and that's a great opportunity actually for you as a designer. Okay. So if you live near one of the Home Depot design centers, I encourage you to check it out for yourself, learn what they have to offer, and get registered to begin leveraging this new partnership for yourself and your client's advantage. Adam, thank you tons for joining us, and a big shout out to Gwen for introducing us. I appreciate you, lady, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in September. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate that you do show up here and that we are doing this crazy podcast thing together. Decide to be excellent. Thank you for joining me today. This podcast is a production of LuAnn Niagara, Inc. If you want to know more about me, my books, or LuAnn University, go to LuAnnNiagara.com. And if you are interested in having WindowWorks help you with your next window treatment or awning project in the New York, New Jersey metro area, go to WindowWorksNJ.com to learn more. Have an excellent day.